If you love cookies and cake, these strawberry crinkle cookies will give you the pleasure of having both at the same time, as they have a soft and fudgy cake-like center. They are also very rich in flavor, as I've made them using some fresh strawberry puree and a hint of lemon. So without wasting any time, let's start making this yummy recipe. We will need about 1 and 3/4 cup of fresh strawberries. We are going to remove the stems and clean the strawberries first and then make the puree.
Had enough of fighting and dying in the streets. For Christmas,
these cookies are also a great choice for gifting during the Christmas time, as they are pretty easy to make and will also add a personal touch to your gifts. So the strawberries are washed and ready. Let's start chopping them. You can cut them in big pieces because we are later going to cook them, so they are going to lose their shape anyway.
For Christmas, I just want a little peace. And if the fates should
we need 1 and 3/4 cups of chopped strawberry. So here I am measuring them now.
Stand together in the silence and just breathe. Rejoice for all the happiness, mourn for all the grief. It's all that I am asking.
For the puree, we are also going to need juice of a lemon.
Christmas Eve.
Now in a pan, add the strawberries first. Then add 1/3 cup of sugar. And 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix the 3 ingredients well and then cook them on a low flame until they turn into a puree. This should take about 20 to 25 minutes. Remember to keep stirring at intervals to avoid sticking. Cover with a lid to speed up the process. The strawberries have started releasing the juice and have become soft, but it's still a long way to go. Okay, so after about 20 to 25 minutes, this is what I've achieved. This is a thick puree which almost looks like a jam. Now we are going to strain the puree. Basically, there will be no residue, but we just want to mash if there are any pieces left. Now that the puree is ready, let's go ahead with the second step. I'm mixing the dry ingredients required for the cookie dough, for which you will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour or Maida, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix these 3 ingredients and keep the mixture aside.
For Christmas, I just want a little peace. Be blind to one another. The differences are small.
Now let's create the wet mixture. First, you will need half cup of salted butter. Using a hand mixer, just soften the butter before we add the sugar.
For Christmas, I just want a little peace. And if the fates
to this butter, add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Make sure to sieve the sugar and add it in parts.
In the silence and just breathe. Rejoice for all the happiness, mourn for all the grief. It's all that I am asking for.
Reserve about 1/4 cup of sugar from the 1.5 cups, which we will use later. Beat the butter and the sugar until they mix very well. Using a spatula, scrape the sides. It's time to add the strawberry puree that we made. Add 4 tablespoons.
The light that we have saved, so jealously we've guarded for the coming rainy days. If only for a moment we can make the darkness see.
Now mix the puree with the butter and sugar mixture by using gentle circular motions. We need a stiff mixture for the cookies, so remember to not overmix the batter, otherwise it will become loose. To this batter, now we have to add 4 ingredients: 1 whole egg, 1/4 cup of milk, 1 teaspoon vanilla essence and 1/4 teaspoon red food coloring.
Be kind to one another. Don't give in.
Incorporate all these wet ingredients in the batter with slow and circular movements.
For Christmas time this year, we've had enough of fighting and dying in the streets. For Christmas, I just want a little peace.
Lastly, we mix the dry and the wet ingredients. So add the flour, cornstarch and baking powder mix to this wet mixture. Don't add the entire quantity at one go, add it in parts.
For once when we're affronted, can we turn the other cheek? For Christmas, I just want a little peace. And if the fates should bless us with a moment of reprieve, we all could stand together in the silence.
The batter now feels thick and difficult to move. At this stage, you can use your hands to mix as well. Now that our cookie dough is ready, we have to give it a resting time of 3 hours in the fridge. So cover it well and keep it in the refrigerator for 3 hours before you bake them. While our dough is resting in the fridge, let's prepare the baking tray with the parchment sheet or baking sheet. If you have a square baking tray, you won't have to cut the sheet, but I have a circular one, so I'm just going to cut it in that shape. After 3 hours, our dough has hardened and is ready to bake. And this is the powdered sugar that we had kept aside. We want all the cookies to be of the same size, so for the measurement we are going to use 1 tablespoonful of batter for 1 cookie. To shape the cookie, once you measure the batter, take it in your hands and lightly roll it into an uneven textured ball. Then dip the ball in the powdered sugar and place it on the tray. That's all you need to do, as these cookies will take shape on their own as they start baking.
We all have got a cross to bear. We all have got our faults.
Make sure you place the cookies in the baking tray at a good distance, keeping space in between, because as they bake they will fluff up and spread. So usually a standard baking tray can hold about 6 cookies at a time. We are going to bake the cookies at 160 degrees Celsius, so preheat your oven and place the cookie tray inside and set the timer for 15 minutes. Make sure you keep the dough in the fridge in between the different batches of the cookies, because it might get soggy. You can see that the cookie balls have taken shape and have almost doubled in size. 15 minutes are up and the cookies are all ready. They look lovely with the bright pink color and the crinkly texture. Make sure you don't remove the cookies immediately from the baking sheet. Give it a resting time of 10 minutes to cool down. Because crinkle cookies are fudgy and soft from inside, they have a certain amount of wetness that needs to dry up after the baking time is over. After giving them a resting time of 10 to 15 minutes, remove them slowly and carefully and place them on a wire rack. Allow them to cool completely before filling them in an airtight container.
If only for a moment we can make the darkness cease.
If you try making these cookies for Christmas, do let me know in the comment section if you like the recipe. And do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Until the next time, happy baking!